Welcome back to yet another video by Mr. Recapper. We have brought an adventures movie, Jungle Cruise. A single petal from the ancient tree could cure any illness and break any curse. The story is about the legend of the tear of the moon. Over centuries, many peoples tried to search for the great tree. However, the moon's tear legend was protected by the jungle. Stay with us and subscribe to our channel. There will be spoilers ahead. Keep an eye out. In the first scene, we see the appearances of MacGregor Houghton, presenting the evidence and history of the mystical tree to the council, but no one agrees with his stance. Lily Houghton is also present at the spot and listening to MacGregor. She walks out during cross dialogues between MacGregor and the council. Dr. Lily Houghton is also one of the searchers of the moon's tear. She is ambitious on her way to finding the legend at any cost. She wants to reveal a new way to bring change in medicines. Although this search is so adventurous and dangerous as well, she is searching for an arrowhead, and finally she gets. Prince Joachim clasps her and demands arrowhead, while she achieves her goal and tries to escape from the spot. She deceived the prince and ran away with her brother. In the other scene, a skipper named Frank Wolf takes visitors across the river in his boat L'Aquila, which includes a variety of antics that Frank has designed and several lame jokes. Frank can direct them clear of the danger in the river. Lily and MacGregor, on the other hand, arrive at Porto Velho, Brazil. Lily is looking for Mr. Nilo, a harbor master, who can equip them with a boat to take them to the region of Larimars da Crista based on a map Lily carries with her. Nilo tracks down Frank, who owes him money. Nilo seizes the boat's engine as security when Frank cannot repay the debt. Frank sneaks into Nilo's office and tries to get the keys to bringing back his engine. Lily comes at the exact moment. When Frank declines Lily's offer, she tells him that she has a lot of money, and the skipper unlocks the door for Lily to enter. As Lily assumes he is Mr. Nilo, Frank plays a ruse and tries to persuade her to employ him for the trip to the tree. Frank's scheme nearly succeeds until MacGregor comes with the actual Mr. Nilo. Lily is saying goodbye to Frank, and his gaze catches the arrowhead that Lily wears as a necklace. When Lily begins to leave the bar, a jaguar enters and terrorizes the entire bar, which Frank tries to drive away using a flesh piece. Frank's demonstration persuades Lily to employ him as their Amazon captain. Frank leads Lily and MacGregor to the boat. Bird preachers hired by Prince Joachim kidnap Lily, but she manages to crack a lock and escape just as henchmen are closing in on her. Frank and MacGregor try to overtake Nilo's soldiers as they ride the boat out. They are able to catch up with Lily and get her into the boat. When Joachim notices Lily and her team approaching the tree, he emerges from his submarine and attacks them. Joachim launches a torpedo at them, but Frank steers the boat through an old house, allowing the torpedo to pass beneath them. Frank pulls them out while the submarine collides with Nilo's other ships, and Nilo watches his business sink. During the boat ride, Frank spends most of his time with them. Lily shows him a video camera while traveling across the river with the mystical dolphins. At night, MacGregor and Lily discover that the jaguar they saw earlier is Frank's pet, Proxima, whom he used as a prop to persuade them to hire him. Lily is outraged and enraged with Frank. Joachim and his men, on the other side, discover an underground chamber where Aguirre and his men are imprisoned with the land of the jungle. Using river water, Joachim frees the serpent that is a part of Aguirre's body to solicit assistance locating the arrowhead. Joachim's soldiers fill the cavern with river water to rouse the conquistadors, and Aguirre agrees. Skippers and his passengers encounter strong waves and come dangerously close to collapsing a massive waterfall, but Frank saves them by steering them safely onto a pitch. They come to a halt on land, and Lily walks through quarters while Frank speaks with MacGregor, who explains that his family and society reject him because he is gay. Despite this, Lily was the one person who stuck by his side, even if she came out as a bit weird at times. Simultaneously, Lily discovers various jungle maps among Frank's stuff, leading to a confrontation in which she acquires Frank looking for the tree for him. Darts knocks the three out moments afterward. When they awaken, they discover that a local tribe has kidnapped them. As they demand the arrowhead, Lily rejects the deal and rushes to flee, but the reality exposes that the tribe is aware of Frank's identity and participates in his charade. Frank's continual duplicity irritates Lily, and MacGregor joins her in hitting him in the face. Lily goes to the tribe's chief, Trader Sam, to figure out how to read the arrowhead when she has calmed down. When she's interpreting, the tree appears in La Luna Rota rather than Lagrimas de Crista, and she says it blooms under a blood moon. Then they are all ambushed by Aguirre and his soldiers, who have been imprisoned in the forest for so long that they have transformed into monsters. They were almost successful in obtaining the arrowhead, but Frank thwarted their efforts. Frank plummeted from a considerable height after Aguirre's blade penetrated his heart. Lily flees with it and gets far enough since the conquistadors are dragged back because they can't proceed beyond the river. Lily discovers Frank alive in the morning. He tells Lily that he is approximately 400 years old and that he was once known as Francisco, the cartographer of Aguirre. After being stranded in the woods, Aguirre sought out the tears of the moon to treat his ailing daughter since he and Aguirre had gone up together like brothers. They were discovered by the villagers, who used the tree's petals to treat Aguirre. The chief and his daughter awakened the powers. Aguirre was overjoyed because he was so close to finding a remedy that could heal his daughter, but he couldn't wait any longer and demanded that the chief give him the arrowhead and take him to the tree. The chief refused, so Aguirre killed the chief in retaliation. Frank assisted the chief's daughter in securing the arrowhead. In his dying breath, Chief cursed the conquistadors and bound them to be confined to the forest and never escape. Frank and Lily make their way to the tree, while McGregor stays with Sam because he was wounded. Unfortunately, Joachim discovers them and kidnaps McGregor, forcing him to bring them to Lily's. Since the conquistadors, bees had also provided information about Lily and Frank. Frank and Lily discovered the tree in La Luna Rota, and Lily should fight her phobia of swimming to go underwater and squeeze through a channel to pull a switch that brings them closer to the tree. The water level drops as a result, but Joachim is already here with McGregor in pursuit. He forces them to enter the passage in order to translate the scripture. As the moon rises overhead, Frank and Lily realize that the arrowhead is supposed to be a heart, and inside is a crystal that works as a key, bringing the tree to life. Joachim and his men try to separate the petal from the tree, but Lily stops them. Aguirre and his men approach and assault Joachim with his snakes, while Lily hurries to capture one of the petals as the moon passes through, causing the petals to die swiftly. She is successful in capturing the one she requires. Aguirre fights Frank on the boat as he guides it into a creek wall. Joachim returns to attack, but McGregor fights him off and slams him into the wall. A pillar falls and crushes Joachim. The boat collides with the wall, halting the flow of water and imprisoning Aguirre and his men, as well as Frank, indefinitely. Lily brings the flower and places it in Frank's mouth to resuscitate him, but it doesn't seem to work at first. Then Proxima is surprised as she watches the stone around Frank disintegrate. He is resurrected, but his immortality has vanished, and he may now live normally. The three of them travel to London, where McGregor informs the Royal Society face to face that he has rejected their application. Lily takes Frank on a tour of London while teaching him how to drive, although he is not very good at it. So, how did you like the movie? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.